This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission consistent.
What is it? Time for The Departed?
Hey, bro.
The Departed.
Departed. You know, I'm over here.
Is this the ultimate Boston movie?
No.
No?
Good Will
I
I don't
Hunting
think
is
so.
the ultimate Boston
I think it's
movie
Good Will
either.
Hunting.
Good
Yeah,
Will
I think it's
Hunting?
Good Will
Is this
Hunting.
number 2?
Yeah. It's up
No,
there.
because it's not very good.
But it's really,
But
yeah.
Boston's not very good. So
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, John's turn to go first this week.
Yeah,
too.
John, you go first. Go ahead. I'm not
Seriously?
going to say what I was going to say.
It
Let's
is
go.
your turn
right
to go
now. You're up.
first.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, by the
let's
way,
do
we're
it.
watching The Departed.
The Departed.
And
We're-
it's,
yeah,
it's
the
the
Mission
Mission 250, you know. Right.
Well,
There you
listen
go.
to us wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's podcasts, bro.
Podcasts.
Yeah. All right, John, you're up.
We're also on the YouTube.
That's not
Put a
very
bunch
good.
of-
John
I,
didn't live in-
I don't even claim to
John
be.
didn't grow up in
The
Boston.
accents were all over the fucking.
You didn't
place.
even come close.
John
kid.
was in
You're
Boston
fine.
for a good 8 years in the middle of his life. There's
I
no
know,
accent.
yeah,
to be seen
no,
there.
there was no way.
No.
I was happy to stay out of that. That wasn't
Yeah,
something
yeah, you're
I
probably
aspired to.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So The Departed.
Oh, that was bad.
Watching it.
Oh, it's
What's
terrible.
bad.
over there? Watch
bad.
The Departed.
It's just bad. It's just bad.
It's the
Yeah.
worst, actually. It's worse
It's
than
actually, yeah, it's
Jack
worse than-
Nicholson's.
It's worse than fucking
Oh yeah.
Sheen.
Oh yeah.
Sheen is terrible.
I'm trying to be bad.
Nicholson was the worst.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're all
I thought-
bad.
I
They're all
thought,
bad.
I thought Damon's accent went from like hardly there to all the way there too, in an odd way. Like sometimes it was like really.
Oh yeah, he was overdoing it. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah,
Sometimes
he was
but-
saying spend too much time away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can go positive. The action scenes in this are really good. I think Leo's really good in it. His character, his intensity, like how he's like quick for violence, how he's desperate and nervous. I think he portrays that. I think I'm learning to really like Leo.
Uh
And maybe I just don't like Scorsese films in some ways, but
oh. I think that
or
you've
just
mentioned
the
that quite a
context.
bit. So I think
yeah.
that might be.
Well, I
it.
used to be all anti-Leo for back
But
in the
this
day.
is
I think,
Scorsese
but-
and Leo, so how does that work?
I know.
Oh, is
but
that like a
but-
Leo?
Yeah,
Ooh.
but what I like what Leo's doing. He was interesting to watch and tense. He really added to the tension so the action scenes are really good. Even the elevator scene, the
elevator scene?
chase. No, not even including actually the elevator scene is like amazing.
Yeah.
And the chase scenes, the different like scenes where they're setting up the action or there's kind of it's really tense. Even though I knew what was coming, I still think it was extremely well done. Like the scenes where they're like where Leo and Frenchie are like go, and Frenchie was great also. He was good. And they'd go and they were busting somebody up or whatever. And those scenes were really good. And the acting was really good. I think there's a couple of things that sort of just struck me, but part of it is like coming off of a McDonough binge.
Oh, geez, we did it wrong. Wrong order here, I guess.
Right? Where we watch these characters that are like tough guys, foul talkers, whatever, but they also really interact and seem to have like lives or like some kind of depth to them. And I don't feel like a lot of Mark Wahlberg is just Mark Wahlberg potty.
I love Marky Mark. I don't know. I think he's
you love
great.
him, but
I think he's great.
I still think he's just there spouting off stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect.
He's just talking shit.
One of the
And-
most
and-
likable characters I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah, well, that's from yeah.
No,
I guess
seriously.
they're
I was
really
thinking-
connected.
I was thinking about it earlier. Like I watched it this time. Those two were my favorite characters because I've
Yeah,
just gotten so sick of dealing with the other two being so
Yeah.
serious.
Which two? Mark
Okay,
and
I'll
who?
let you go. Go.
Mark and who? Who's the other one?
The other detective, the Sheen there.
Oh,
Is it Sheen?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Gene. Yeah.
Yeah. Those two are the funniest fuck. All I
funny,
kept
but
watching
I
was like,
don't know.
whenever they're on screen, I'm having a much
Yeah.
better time with
Well,
this
that's
movie.
good. I mean, I still
You
felt
know?
like they had their monologues almost. It wasn't feel like they were interacting. It just felt like
Oh, okay.
yeah, and or even like the scene where
They're
Wahlberg's
cops.
like
Of
dressing-
course
yeah,
they're not.
quaps.
Of course, they're cops.
We're
Okay.
quaps.
Yeah,
No,
when they're
John,
cops.
no, don't
John,
try
they're
it.
Cops,
It's a
okay?
quap.
Yeah, right. It's
it's not a quap.
It's a
It's a
quap.
cop.
They're
It's a
quaps.
cop. It's a cop. Okay.
It's not COWP.
Yeah.
It's
It is. It's like
Yeah,
that little
yeah,
keyboard
right.
game
It's a
where you
quap.
have to use every key to walk.
Yeah.
Quap. It's
All
a
right,
quap.
It's a fucking box, and you cop. You know what I mean?
Quap. The quap.
Jesus.
The quap.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Wow. That was like he's clucking himself
anyway.
out of
Yeah,
consciousness.
This is the
Very
right?
worst
good.
you've ever
Yeah.
done, John.
He
right
ended
here.
up quacking like a fucking duck. So, but I just didn't feel. I felt like they weren't really characters. Sort of. They were just like doing like almost as like a skit or a monologue. I didn't really feel like they were interacting with each other.
They were.
And so that was kind of a feeling I got. Also, it's hard with oh shit, what's his name? Who plays Trump all the time and just
Alec
shooting somebody. Alec Baldwin. He's just been such a comedic actor in these roles.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? They got in trouble.
What's his name? He was in Beetlejuice.
Seeing him, it's just sort of hard to take him kind of seriously anymore because he's just got the same look he always has. And Jack Nicholson isn't playing a character either. He's just Jack. He's just crazy Jack.
He is pretty much just crazy Jack.
Being menacing, sort of, but it doesn't feel like there's no meaning or I think about if Joe Pesci had done this. Like how much?
What?
Like
where did that come from?
No, I'm just thinking like when we
what
saw
are you
the
going
Irishman,
on about?
When we saw the Irishman and Joe Pesci as like the guy in charge had so much like weight and menace to him, and Jack is just like crazy Jack from The Shining. It doesn't like scare me. It doesn't strike me as serious even. It just seems like he's just being crazy weird Jack Nicholson, not even like a real character in the film or playing a real character in a film.
I don't know. Don't you think that it could just be that he's like an old guy who's killed a lot of people, so he's kind of losing his mind?
I guess he's old Jack, who's an old actor that doesn't give a shit anymore. And
I don't think he ever gave. I mean, his character was supposed to not ever give a shit, right?
But when I compare the scenes with Leo, like Leo is there, and like the scene where the whole rat scene, right? And Leo looks so tense, and he's got so much like depth to him the way he's doing it, and to me, it's just Jack is just Jack being like menacing Jack from any other film he's been in.
I don't know. I kind of like it just to counteract. I can kind of see where you're coming from, but I kind of like how he casually does the violent stuff. I think is really effective when he like just slowly walks out, just covered in blood, and calmly talks to people like he's in it 1,000 times. It really conveys that this guy is comfortable with just like getting his hands dirty, and he's just a murderer.
I think the calmer moments, it's better when he's animated and stuff. It still is just wacky Jack Nicholson basically.
I do agree with you that you don't get a sense of his character, but I don't think he has any. He's like, all he does is work, right?
But I just think of like the interactions of when we look at the McDonough films, the interactions of the characters seemed so much richer, and the comedy was so much better in a sense, like just because of the way people would play off each other and the sort of way their characters would interact. And I feel like that's really not here. I mean, I think that's like just people have their bit parts to play and their bit things to say, and it doesn't feel as much like there's a lot of interactions here. I think it's a lot more about the action and the plot, and so it just seems, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to have like depth to it, and it tries to have depth to it, like, ooh, look, there's the Capitol building, and at the very end we'll scroll back up to the Capitol building, dude. That's deep, meaningful shit, dude.
It is in Boston. It is in Boston.
I know it is Boston. Look, there's Boston. We're in Boston. That's a big Boston building. We're gonna scroll up to the Boston building.
Hey, that's deep, man.
Fucking deep.
Why are you hating so much right now?
I mean, I like the idea of the character and the two, the Damon's character and Leo's character, and how they're sort of contrasting and different. How Leo's desperate. He just he doesn't have an out and he's trapped. And then
they're both the same way,
right? And then Matt Damon being like more, just conniving, but also he got helped up through this. And again, I still didn't feel like Matt was. He was so much better in The Talented Mr. Ripley than this, as far as being like a two-faced kind of person.
Oh,
and I don't you think? I mean,
yeah, I thought you were just picking your favorite Matt Damon performance. The two-faced thing made it more specific, but I thought you were pulling The Talented Mr. Ripley as like your high bar for Matt Damon. And
it is the high. Well, it is also it's both. It is the high bar for Matt Damon. I mean,
Good Will Hunting. Come on.
Whoa.
Well.
Okay. Whoa! What are you going on about?
Well, excuse me on that one. Sorry.
You walked that back.
Sorry. But anyway, I just didn't feel like it just didn't feel like there was the depth to the characters or the way it was acted. It just felt weirdly shallow, other than some of Leo's stuff. Even though like the dialogue was really snappy and then like they were sitting there being terribly verbally abusive to each other at times or whatever, it just felt, I don't know, it didn't seem to have weight to it. It was weird. The violence had weight to it. The action scenes had weight to that, but I felt like the character interactions just didn't.
I kind of agreed this time, John, but I do remember the first time I watched this movie being incredibly shocked and sad during the elevator scene.
That scene is still fucking powerful. That scene, the suddenness of the action, the suddenness of the loss of your main character I don't know. I'm sure there's other movies that have done that.
Nothing
and Denny,
like this.
I don't know.
It still stands out. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know that the original, the film that this was made of, had the elevator scene, but it wasn't sudden like this one was.
And it's especially the way it's put together with Matt Damon finally breaking character, breaking down, asking to be killed. Like you're right. Shit, like we're going in this direction.
Right. It basically distracts you.
Yeah.
It's like look over here, and then you get like it is masterfully done. I agree. I really think that they're.
And then you get like the twist of like, oh, there's 2 rats, and then oh shit, he kills the other rat. Like all that.
And I knew
this.
I knew this was all coming, and I still was really tense. Like I knew this was. I'd seen this before. I knew it was all coming. So again, it's really masterfully done. I just think I don't know. Maybe they should just. I don't know. Just edited out a lot of this stuff, and the whole. Oh man, the psychiatrist part is just so weird. I mean, she is just
She's
there
a terrible
as a prop.
psychiatrist.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Awful,
oh yeah.
awful.
Oh, like
sleeping with
not even a fucking like not even a brief moment of hesitation. Should I sleep with this guy? Oh, and you're.
Oh no. I'll meet you up for coffee anytime. Right. Let's go. Yeah.
You know what? And I mean, her line was just unbelievable. She's like, your patients are vulnerable. That's why you're not supposed to take advantage of him. What does she say before she fucks Leo? She's like, oh, your vulnerability scares me.
I know. I know. That's a rough line. That's a rough line. That's a rough line.
Think about it if the genders were reversed. I don't even think it would have flown back then. But it's just so fucking like, oh my God. She's just so clearly there to like serve Leo. Oh, and he's impotent just and he has sex with her. Oh, and that's meaningful. That's
and it's Leo's kid, right? Probably.
Right, it is. Yeah, because he couldn't get it up, remember? So, because of his evilness or whatever. I don't know. But
if you're evil, you can't get it up.
If you're evil, you're limp. I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah, we know that. That's it's got to be it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's deep, man. There's deep, that's 40 and stuff. It's like
that's down there. Yeah, okay. Now at least I got a reason, Yeah. Wait, what?
That stuff was very distracting to see because it was just it was ridiculous. It was really, really ridiculous. But not that she was a bad actress either necessarily. It's just the whole setup. It seems like the action and the sequence of the way things happen is very good. And again, I think you're right. I don't know of any other scene I can compare the sudden, like shocking sort of setup of that particular scene. Yeah, I think that is like pretty amazing. And it still is even when you know what's coming, and that's impressive that you even know it's not just like a sixth sense shock value kind of thing. It's just so well done. Even when you know it's coming, it's still there. Those scenes are still really shocking. They're still really tense, and that's like some excellent filmmaking. So I definitely have to give it that. It's just all these other things. Like man, it could have been so much better. But yeah. Anyway, so
sounds like the only thing you're criticizing are the shallowness of the characters. That sounds like it's the only thing you're criticizing.
The shallowness, and it just seems like these characters are just sort of they're there, like it's Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson. It's Matt Damon being Matt Damon.
What's wrong with that?
Wahlberg being Wahlberg.
I love these things.
Not necessarily. No, it's great. I like to watch Harrison Ford be Harrison Ford.
Who doesn't?
Whether he's
that's why
Han
these people
Solo
are famous,
or
John.
Jones,
what the fuck?
Right here, I don't like it as much. I don't know. I want something deeper than that for this kind of the way the film is trying to be serious and meaningful. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Also,
oh my God, probably the worst fucking cover I think I've heard in a song. And maybe some people really love this cover. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Comfortably Numb with Van Morrison singing it as if he's, I don't know, talking like William Shatner instead of actually singing the fucking song.
Oh yeah. John's coming in with a lot of anger tonight.
Yeah, I know. I know.
John, tell us your thoughts. Do you like the Dropkick Murphys, John? What do you think
about that?
What else
don't you like, John?
No.
What else?
Dropkick Murphys they're very Boston. They totally fit there. But
what about
and
the
a lot
Stones?
of good stuff. Fuck no.
Don't you love when they play the Stones?
Always good stuff. You play like, give me Shelter whenever, and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's cheating.
Again,
it's movie cheat code right there. If you can
it
afford Give Me Shelter, you're going to have a good 3 minutes of a movie.
You're
not wrong. You're not wrong.
I don't know, because Morrison's like Irish or something. Maybe it was better that he was doing, but it was a fucking terrible cover of a really good song.
I'm going to listen to this right now. I don't know which song you're talking about.
He is. He's just like not even hardly singing it.
Roger Waters, Van Morrison, the band, Comfortably Numb.
Yeah. It was like you didn't even notice it during the movie.
Oh, is this like a montage scene where they're killing a bunch of people? I kind of liked it. I think.
John, you're on the opposite side today.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm not full on in love with this movie, but
yeah, me either.
Yeah, but I mean,
Not that
I'm very
negative.
surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't disagree
Yeah.
necessarily with your criticisms, although I don't know. That's not what this movie's about. It's not about deep character. There's too many characters for it to be about any deep character.
Well, it really,
No, and let's be honest. People from Boston are shallow. There's not much to them. Right?
bunch of assholes that don't really give a shit. Right?
They're laborers, right? They get up at 5, they go to work, they get home at 3.
Coming off, we watched like all the McDonough's films and just seeing where I think he's really good at this. He's really good at like showing, unsavory people like dealing with stuff and yelling at each other and things like that. And I think it's done so well. Like it feels meaningful even, and it's done, whether it's done for comedy or for drama, it's done really well. And I think maybe that's partially like, because I think I liked this film a lot more when I first saw it too. So it really
First
might be
viewing
more
of this movie was incredible.
Yeah.
I remember like going to the theater, seeing it, and just being completely blown away.
I think I might have been blown away, but just by like the coarseness of the language and the way they were insulting each other. I think
the violence
that was
is shocking. I like
yeah.
One of the scenes that sticks out to me still is like when Jack Nicholson shoots one dude in the head and the woman screams and he shoots her in the head. She falls on the dude and he like
and
starts
the guy's
laughing.
like,
And he's like, he felt funny.
She felt funny. And he's like, dude, you fucked up. You fucked up.
That scene is scary as fuck to me.
I know.
Still. Like it's
and
really
then he kicks her
scary.
a little bit. He like looks at her. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's fucked up.
Some of the violence, like the firecracker thing when the guy's setting off the fireworks and goes up to the high guy, that scene still scares me. Like the violence is so realistic in this movie that it really, I think that's the best part of the movie, as odd as that sounds. Like the violence is terrifyingly realistic.
It's the action scene. It's the action of the violence that like the sudden eruption of violence, the way it happens. And like you said,
it's not done
sometimes it's
stylized
casual.
like Tarantino. It seems kind of realistic.
No, it's not that this is cool.
No, right. You get a sense that he's just that fucked up. I mean, that's why they set that up in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
With the bodies, right? Because they gave him right out the gate, like, okay, this guy's a fucking sociopath. We get it. Now we know.
So we're afraid of him the entire time. So anytime he's on screen,
every time he's on screen, I'm like, he's gonna fucking shoot somebody. He's gonna fucking break a fucking bone. He's gonna do something.
Fuck! No one asked me if I was recording. You guys fucked up. You fucked up.
Oh,
I wasn't recording.
Well, I got the backup audio.
Neither was I.
Yeah, the backup audio.
Oh, that's good.
TC. Hey, I'm not the only one.
Hey.
No. I wasn't doing the backup. I
I'll get the backup. I'm gonna save right now. Give me a second.
No, I need to
I just
record.
realized.
So no problem. So I'll put a little disclaimer.
No, now that you got all your stuff out, John, we'll start over.
We'll start over again. Everyone loves it.
And we'll be more succinct here. All right. So what don't you like about it, John?
Give us a brief 1-minute summary.
Characters are shallow. They're too well known, so they're just sort of playing themselves. And the violence is really good, and there's some pretty amazing scenes.
And you really liked the elevator scene.
Yeah, the elevator scene was fantastic, and I really,
did you see that? Did you see it coming?
The Van Morrison cover of "Comfortably Numb" was good. I don't know.
Did you see it coming when the other guy shot?
You like it?
I liked it during the movie. I didn't dislike any of the songs. I liked all the music in this movie, how they were using it.
He's got a good way of blending old music with video.
Mm-hmm.
There was some old little like 2-note guitar noodling at one point that was really annoying.
Was it during the sex scene?
Thing. Maybe
that was a little unnecessary.
So. Yeah, well, the whole thing was. I mean,
sex scenes are so awkward. All I can think about is how weird this would be for the actors to film it.
That's a good thing to think about because it's got to be, right?
Yeah. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you okay with this? Hey, and they must talk the day before, like, yo, so this is going to happen, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
How naked are you comfortable getting? We're talking
I don't know.
No shirt? What are we talking here?
No, I don't think they do that. But
no, they have to because they're not just going to wing it when they get on stage. Like they have to talk about it.
No, I'm just saying they don't do it. They don't talk about that together. They talk about that with everybody else around.
Oh,
like how far? How far are we going to get?
Yeah. He's like, hey, how naked are you going to get?
It's not like they're behind doors being like, so what are you going to do?
Maybe I'll kiss your neck like this.
But stranger things have happened because I think some of those actors actually do end up hooking up, right? We've heard that story a million times.
Sure.
So at some point it might be really good. And they're like, go for it.
All right. It's like, hey, that was in the contract. Shh, let him go.
Let him go. They're good. Shut up.
Good. We got
hey, shut up. Right?
Anyway, but they could have gotten rid of that whole psychiatrist subplot. Maybe it would have helped. They could have cut a good 20 minutes out of the film.
Because that connected them. They needed that. She was like the MacGuffin. She's the MacGuffin.
You're right.
Yeah.
She's the thing that carries along.
She's
the
puts
one
all the
plots
who gets
together.
Matt Damon killed at the end because she's the one with the envelope that sends to whoever we don't even know, but probably to Dignam.
Booties. Yeah.
Oh, not Matt Damon, but Leo.
No, but in the end, like Wahlberg comes to shoot Matt Damon.
Oh, right. Sorry, I wasn't paying. Yep.
Oh, Wahlberg, you got the booties on. You're going to shoot me.
So I'm curious to how, wasn't Wahlberg kind of
cops?
Wahlberg was AWOL, right? So no one knew where he was. So how did Leo? I have a lot of questions on this movie. Well, how did Leo know how to get in contact with Mark Wahlberg?
Because
well, wasn't he always in contact though?
But the mailing address. How did he get a mailing address for him?
Oh, right. Yeah.
She had the envelope that Leo gave her.
Right.
To also open. That also contained information to contact Wahlberg.
Right. But how did he know?
Because she sent it to him.
But he was AWOL, right?
Yes. But
so he couldn't have been staying at one place. You think he was going to write down his address?
He wasn't AWOL. He wasn't AWOL. He was just off the force. He was at his home.
I didn't think so. No, because there was a scene where they had him. Weren't there a couple scenes where they were trying to find him and they couldn't find him? Like the scene where they're on the roof and Sheen came and he was like, "Where's freaking Dignam?" And then Sheen's like, "I don't know."
Yeah, but I think that they were like, I think that they were just like, here he goes again. He's on his fucking own doing whatever the fuck he's doing. Not supposed to be.
So he just sent it to his home address?
Yeah.
I
thought he was just off the force. He was like kicked off or leave without pay or leave with pay.
I mean, I know they kicked him off, but I thought after they kicked him off, he like disappeared kind of.
No, I didn't catch that maybe, but I assumed that it was.
It would make sense that he would disappear because the way he reacted, he knew there was another rat, and he wouldn't want the rat to like just go to his house and kill him, right?
Oh,
because he was suspicious.
Maybe, but he wasn't a threat.
He was a threat.
Was he?
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He was trying to find out who the rat was because he was pissed that Sheen got killed.
Right. So I don't know.
He was doing investigative work. He didn't think that they got the rat. He didn't think Sheen was the rat.
Yeah.
So he was doing something, and if the rat was still there, and he knew that was his motivation.
I don't remember them mentioning that he wasn't found at his house or something. All I remember them saying is that he's just off on leave.
There is the one scene where he called Dignam to show up, and he didn't show up on the roof.
Right, on the roof.
Right, and I don't know why he didn't show up.
Because he was off starting this.
He was investigating. He turned his phone off.
Yeah, he was around fucking around. I don't know. You're right, Denny. There's a little bit of a loose end there.
I have some questions that are going to make you scratch your head and think that maybe this movie isn't as tight as you think it is.
I think this film was
don't tell that to John. I think he knows that.
Fine.
There are some really good twists. Like if you follow Matt Damon's motivations throughout this movie, it's pretty rock solid, and it's pretty complicated too. Like all of his planning on what he's planning on doing is pret's awesome. Like I don't think I ever got until this viewing that once Matt Damon read the little journal that Martin Sheen's character, whatever his name is, he has a diary, and and he says that
he's an informant.
He's an informant, right? But then Matt Damon turns on Nicholson and then gets the cops
sets him up to get him killed, right? And then he's going to be the hero. Like this is his way out of everything, right? That he'll get to be the hero, but also then now he's no longer under threat. Because he's no longer the informant.
And I'm not sure I picked up either when like Nicholson was telling Matt Damon to like lose the tail, that Damon was nervous because he's like, I can't just tell these people to lose the tail. They'll be suspicious of me because I have no good reason to do it. And Nicholson's like, fuck you, I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
He probably felt that he was like, oh shit, he's not investing in me anymore. I'm close to being sold out here, sort of thing, right? Because he's doing irresponsible things with my power. And he'll get away with it, but I won't with this type of action.
Right. So he says, but then he came through and still found a good way to get the tail off.
Right.
So, I mean, again.
But then there's a bunch of stuff that Nicholson does. Like he wouldn't expect Matt to find that out. Like they have the evidence from the Martin Sheen character. Like what does he think's in there? They've been investigating him forever. They don't think that he knows. I don't know. There's like just questions of why they trusted. Like so that's one, trusting Leo. As not being the rats?
I thought the overall thing was that the cops are so corrupt that they also need him to keep existing. I thought that's how I kind of perceived all that. So like they didn't trust Leo. They had this whole thing going already on both sides. That's why when they talked to him at the water there at the the aquarium in Boston, they were like they all knew each other with backstory, right? Like they already had a fucking thing going on. So I just assumed that he basically, when he exists, they exist. And if he doesn't exist, they don't exist. So that they are also corrupt and they're a part of other things, which is why he ends up showing up to kill him at the end. I thought that they were all corrupt, basically, not that they're police still, which is why it doesn't matter if the lady sent him the recording or not. Because like ultimately all those cops are corrupt, which is like why Matt Damon even exists in the first place.
That's interesting. That's confusing. I didn't get that.
Yeah, but that's what I thought. It's like a bigger take on the corruption. And the fact that people like, they get what they deserve. It's not even about like who gives them up or not.
I guess,
They
yeah.
get to they deserve.
Did Leo deserve it though?
Oh, he's a Two-Face. They're all Two-Faced.
Leo?
Yeah.
No,
right?
he didn't.
He's
never
not,
did
but he's
good.
still Two-Faced, but he's still
He
Two-Faced.
didn't have much choice. He was just sort of like pushed into the place that he was in, and he was desperate, and he knew he was doomed. That's actually
But
what
isn't
I
that the
liked about
same
his
as the other
character.
guy? It's the same thing as the
Like
other
he
guy.
had no choice. Like he
Yeah,
was just
he's got no
trapped,
choice.
right?
He's trapped too.
Yeah.
They're both Two-Faced, so they both get what they deserve. One dies, the other one dies. That's how it goes. I mean, there's two characters that are our basic protagonists. So,
Matt and Leo?
no, and it makes it, yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're both the protagonists in a way.
Right, but Leo's just like in a desperate place. He's also like a loose cannon. He's gotten in trouble. The cops take advantage of that to put him undercover, give him no choice in terms of what he's doing.
Yep.
He's just trapped and desperate. So
And then
he
the
just
other one
goes
was
along.
brought up by a fucking psychopath.
Right. So we have
They can't quit that either. Yeah.
right. So I mean, supposedly Leo's dad was more of a righteous guy, or at least like a a more upstanding kind of citizen. But I don't know. I didn't catch all the backstory there in terms of what Leo's dad was or how Leo's dad died or whatever. But
I thought they were just poor people from the neighborhood.
right.
And the guy took care of
That's
them.
sort of his desperation that he seems to have, right? Like he doesn't have any chance.
Like
He doesn't
without
have
him, they
anything.
got nothing. They don't even have food.
Right. So that's the kind of sense that Leo conveys that well. Like he really conveys the desperation really well.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't find this movie fun to watch again. I mean, I don't know if it's because I've seen it too many times. Like I said, I started watching for Mark and fucking the other guy, Sheen. Because I was like,
Sheen
the
just
only
sitting there
time I was like,
talking.
this
Yeah.
is funny. And I was like listening to his,
That's my
accents.
people. That's how my people
oh my God.
talk.
And the accents was so bad. Not from Mark, but from Sheen. And it was just like, oh God, this is just so stupid. And I don't know. I didn't have as fun of a watch with it at all. But I still liked the movie. I thought that the story is kind of cool. When I remember, when all of a sudden all the two characters came up again, it all came back to me like, oh, right. This is like, because now I'm thinking about it from a different perspective. So I'm like, okay, now I get what's going on. These two are the main, but like they have such conflicting stories. It's like conflict right off the bat. So that's kind of cool. But again, like you said, John, it's all about like Boston. This is Boston, right? And then there's like,
Look at these three-unit townhouses. What do you think?
We're gonna get to Boston.
It's such a weird combination. I wish it.
I do understand where your point is. I do.
To your guys' point too. I mean, the action is really good. I just wish this movie could have been incredible in a way if it
was different than what it was.
That's right.
No, but you know what? It's like that movie.
Some parts of it just seem
what's
like
the
farce.
movie
Some parts
in
of it seem
Gloucester?
like skits. You know?
What's the movie in Gloucester when they go out on the boat? Have you ever watched that? It's almost comical.
Suicide Kings. Isn't that it?
No, it was.
Go out on the
it
boat.
was like, it was like they go die on the boat. They were fishermen. It's Clooney and
Perfect Storm?
Yeah, Perfect Storm.
Oh,
That
okay.
movie was like comical Boston, right? Like nobody in Boston talks the way they do. No one in Maine talks the way they do in that movie, right? At least there was some of that in this one, but it wasn't as bad as something like that. So I feel like I let the bad accents go. Just be like, he's just not from there, right? Like.
Yeah.
So I like Denny's point of like Damon did seem like now all of a sudden he's not from there anymore. And he's like really trying hard to get the accent because he lives in Los Angeles and they don't speak like that anymore. And so, I mean, that part of the movie wasn't funny to me anymore. The accents, the thing, it was just little bits of like, oh, Mark's funny because he's still stupid, right? Like the shit that comes out of his mouth is fucking dumb funny, right? And they're talking
I used to think
shit.
it was a lot funnier back when I saw it too. I don't know if I'm just getting older, but
it's all lost its fucking luster.
Right.
I know.
There's
It
that
really
scene, like,
has.
what does it even mean where he's like, hey, how you doing, Mark, or whatever? What's his name? I forget what his name is. How you doing, Mark? And he's like, oh, good, I'm a little tired. He's like, what for? He's like, oh, I was up all night fucking your mother.
Fucking
and he's
your
like,
mother.
how's your mother doing? He's like, oh, she's good. She's tired from fucking my father.
Right, I know. It's like,
And you're like, I don't even know what that
I'm
means.
like, that doesn't even. Yeah,
because they just don't even really seem to be.
It didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
No,
right?
and it's almost like they're saying, "How are you doing?" I'm fine, thank you. And how are you? It's like
random
and maybe
sweary
that's kind
nonsense
of the point.
and like vulgar.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that's how Boston people are? Isn't that
But
funny?
I mean,
Like,
that was still funny from Mark and some other. But when they had other people doing it, I was just like, this isn't funny anymore.
I liked it when Alec Baldwin did it.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Alec Baldwin just makes me think he's like in a Saturday Night Live skit all the time.
How can he not? He's funny in those.
Yeah, he is, but that's where I see. I mean, maybe again, it's just sort of it's hard to take him out of that place.
Glenn Ross, right? He did that shit.
We should see that film. That one is
but he does all that
film,
shit. It's the same kind of like direct in your face. I'm Alec Baldwin. This is going to be funny because I want to go fast. I'm going to go regular.
True.
Yeah, right.
But it is that film, if I remember. I mean, who knows how well that one ages, but I remember that one being incredibly tense.
But yeah, I don't know. As far as the story goes, I do think they did some cool things, but I don't. Yeah. It doesn't land for me as much anymore. I don't know. It's just like it's one of those movies. Like it doesn't happen with Good Will Hunting, but if I see this one too much, I really don't need to see it again. There's not like some deep, meaningful, philosophical story that we've uncovered by watching that movie, right? We're like Matt Damon and Ben in Good Will Hunting. There's a story there about following your dreams and like stuff, right? But this is just another Italian film with cops instead of people, right? Like regular people. But it's still good. It's just not as good anymore.
I think it's kind of, I mean, just talking about, I agree with everything you just said, but one of the things that it's kind of hard to keep in mind too is that I remember coming out of this movie and thinking that this was the first time I'd ever seen new technology used in a movie. Like the use of cell phones in this movie, I think was groundbreaking at the time.
2006. So
they all had flip phones. They were texting each other. It was major plot points with all the phones.
That's true. They need the net. What was it? I forget. But there was go beep beep, right? The little chirper, beep beep.
The little push to talk.
Yeah, the little push to talk. So
there's so many plot turns that are because like someone's phone rings or because he's texting in his pocket or they're tracking the phone.
Your ringer on.
You're right. You're
sitting there, spy guy. You don't leave your ringer on.
No, there are parts of the movie too where they know they're tracking the phones. Like they know they walk into the situation. They're like they're tracking the phones. Everyone be careful. But then they later on in the same situation get a text from Matt Damon saying, "Don't use your phones," and they're like, "Don't use your phones. They're tracking us, but now nobody use your phones." Why were they not using their phones before? That makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Like leave them at home, guys. Yeah, you don't need them. Yeah, you're going to
tracking you. Moderate use only. We're being tracked by the feds, all right, guys?
Hey,
just smiling face emojis only.
The wife might have problems.
I need it. I'm gonna leave it at home. I'm gonna leave it at home. I need my fucking phone.
Hey, how am I gonna call for the gabagool?
My fucking phone. That'll let him stop me.
Yeah.
I'm a quap.
I'm a cop.
A quap.
It's a cop. Okay.
Get my phone.
Yeah, that was bad.
There's no R in phone, you idiot.
There's a phone. It's whacking me with my phone. You go full Boston and flip over and you become Elmer Fudd.
What really got me is Jack Nicholson's like he would pick one word per line to pronounce like someone from Boston. Like he'd be like, ma. Or like fa, but then he'd be like number, like dude.
Right, I know he was.
Come on,
really? Not
it's
good.
not an easy accent to fake.
No, it is. If you know what lines, the problem with him is that he improvised throughout the shoot. So like if you had lines, you could go through and write down the words you'd have to translate and just memorize that.
Was that a surprise to everybody?
Yep, that was his idea.
Wow, it's like
throwing the cocaine on the hookers. Also his idea. He was given a free range because Marty really wanted to work with Jack his entire career, and he finally got to.
Wow.
So he was allowed to do whatever he wanted to.
Right. So he just, what are you doing with the dildo, Jack? You'll see. It'll be great.
It's not a big deal.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would that be? A PA on the set? Be like, all right, we need to get a big strap-on dildo for Jack. All right, somebody hop out to the store. We need it in 2 hours.
Hey, no, there's already someone in Hollywood that has that ready. Are you kidding me?
No, but they're filming it. What if they weren't filming it in Hollywood? They filmed it mostly in New York.
There's some in New York.
At a store.
Yeah. No, there's people that know. People that know. They got connections. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to have a hard time finding a dildo in New York.
No, but then it's an easy thing. Sure, the PA.
No,
we'll call
it's for a film.
Go get
I swear.
it. Yeah, go
get it. God, I'm getting this for a film. Sure you are,
they'll
buddy.
pick it up. I mean, it's the production company, right?
All right, got it. 12-inch dildo. Got it. You want some Coke? No, just the dildo. All right, cool.
No, just the dildo. All right. We got fake Coke. We got fake weed. Whatever you need, man. We're here. But the dildo's on box. Dildo's on lock. We got that coming.
So he improvised that. He improvised all those things.
Yep.
Wow.
Pulling out the gun, he improvised. So, I don't know if there was any real shock there, but yeah. There's a scene where he pulled the gun out when he was drunk and threatening Leo. That was improvised.
Nice.
Yeah, he basically, since his character was like the whole thought behind it was that his character was unpredictable, so his acting was unpredictable.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I thought
checks
for
out.
that he was
That
pretty
checks
good.
out.
If you like Nicholson, then it's pretty good.
But it's Nicholson. It's Nicholson.
Well, yeah,
So,
but
what's
John,
your problem with
some people
Nicholson?
likes him.
Yeah,
some
I
people
like
like
him.
him.
I
Yeah.
think,
Nicholson's the shit.
I guess. I don't know. But it's just like I've seen it before and it was better in The Shining. I don't know. I mean,
So what?
I guess so, yeah. But it's like
You can't only have
liked
one
it,
movie.
I
You
liked
can
it
have
better.
multiple
I liked
movies.
it better when it was. I liked it better when it was horror and
So what?
slow,
You're supposed to
scary.
do one movie and just never
I
act.
know. No,
Yeah.
it's weird.
You did your one. You've done. That's it, Nicholson. I'm sorry, but we're not gonna keep you. We're letting you go.
I don't know if it's maybe like, you know, when you're in a good guy role and you're being just yourself, whether it's like Harrison Ford or Tom Cruise or whatever, and they're all just the same fucking guy in every fucking film. Maybe it's more okay when you're the good guy. I don't know. Or
You're
want
going
something
down
that's
a
more
rocky
like,
road here,
I don't
John.
know, but I'm just trying to say it's like it's just the same guy that we saw in The Shining, and yet he's not possessed, you know. But yet he's still acting that way, and so it's
I just
like,
wish he had rolled his eyes back so we could have had a good shot.
Marty didn't put the camera on the ground and shoot up at Jack. That was a huge
Shoot
mistake.
up, roll your eye. Let's see it. We just need it for the. We just need it for. We need it for a safety. We need it for the safety. We need it for the safety. Just give it a good
Maybe
old.
Jack was telling Scorsese, "No, this is the way that Stanley did it. Do it the
Just
way
like
Stanley did
your
it."
motivation is just like when you were in the woods in the cold. Okay, go.
Yeah.
That would have been a good shot if he had like him sitting on the bulldozer, bleeding out of the mouth. If they got the through the leg shots and you got like the bulldozer forks in the shot,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty good.
I think he'd probably have like a lawsuit from. He'd have a lawsuit from
Kubrick's wife.
Spielberg.
Yeah,
somebody.
Good,
Yeah.
They gave him that same tone. Like you just see his face as he's dead on
They
the
just
bulldozer.
sit on it with no dialogue. This movie couldn't sit without dialogue, though. This movie cannot handle that. It's either you have to have 3-minute music montage with a full song, or it's just nonstop, super fast dialogue.
And they did have some exposition when he was in the airport. He was on the phone. He's like, "This is exactly what's happening." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, Leo. Wasn't aware. Thank you for
they do some
making it clear."
weird editing too, where they'd like have like 90% of a scene would play out, and then they would cut in another scene, and then finish the like 10% of the other scene, just like occasionally.
Yeah, because they had two different stories going, so they're trying to remind you.
It was just weird the way they did it. It felt a bit strange that they were trying to sort of like show multiple things going on, but it was just, to me, it was odd the way they stitched it together at times. It just felt
There's nothing pleasing you tonight, John.
Very
this movie won best editing the year it came out. And I like that. That adds to the tension. It adds to the fact that everything is going on at the same time, is what it
kind of, but it wasn't
didn't
as
land
fluid
for
as
Johnny.
I wanted it to be.
You gotta pull the pine cone out of your ass, John. Jeez.
The pine cone?
The pine cone, kid.
The pine cone.
It's wedged up there, dude.
I think John is tired, is what it is.
Yeah, really
John, go to
tired.
bed.
It is.
Go to bed.
What the hell's behind you, John? That's new.
What?
It looks like fun.
like a
It's
big
like a
red
little.
What do I got?
It is a big red
Just
thing.
look
Let's
behind
just
you.
call it a big red thing.
It's a fire truck kind of a thing, a little tent, fire truck tent.
Oh, nice.
It's
Yeah.
fire truck.
It's on a little
It's a
incline
fire
there.
truck.
That's
Fire
truck.
Fire truck. It's a
Put out the
fire. Now you get no more like fire.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
Fire
starting to
truck.
question I ever met you in Boston, John.
Yeah.
Me
too.
My past
Who are
lie.
you two?
I was never a native.
We were in Massachusetts for fucking ever, and neither one of you sound like you've ever been there in your life.
I was only there for I wasn't even there for 7
I grew up
years.
in Western Mass.
Mass.
My father was an English teacher, so I wasn't allowed to have an
That's
accent.
true.
Yeah.
You had all
Yeah.
your R's really
No,
early.
Denny,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cop.
Yeah, it's
Cop.
cop. No,
No.
Denny. It's police officer.
That's right.
No, it's police officer.
No, it's cop, Dad. It's cop. It's a fucking cop. No, it's police officer.
Yeah, that's basically my
Mhm,
childhood.
That's
right there.
basically it. Yeah, right. Yeah. And I'm over there in the corner like, you fucking losers. Fuck you. It's cop.
All right, can I shit on this movie for a second?
What?
Were we
No,
already doing
this
that? I mean,
movie
I
is
feel like we've been
sacred.
shitting on this movie for, I don't know,
Can I do it
41 minutes?
in a very specifically my kind of way?
Yeah, sure.
Here are the questions and the stupid things in the movie that I made a list of while I was watching it this time. Because I was trying to break it down to see how much it made sense. And I think a lot of it does, to its credit, because it's pretty twisty turny. The motivations for the most part make a lot of sense. But Here are the things that I don't think made
Did
sense.
not like?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Did not make sense. Okay.
The scene where Matt Damon graduates from cop school, right? He goes to cop school, he graduates.
No, he didn't. He
leaves-
went to co-op school. Right.
He leaves the ceremony while the bagpipes are still playing.
Oh,
as
right.
the people
This
are
is
playing,
fucking-
hops
gets in the
fucking
gangster's
Jack
car.
Nicholson's car right outside the goddamn
nobody's
ceremony.
gonna fucking
No big
notice
deal.
that.
You can hear the bagpipes in the background, so he's like right there. Is that the best
big deal.
idea? Come on. That's fucking stupid. There's the
Fair.
scene where Matt Damon tells him to shut the camera off and goes into the room and talks to the guy that got caught, the guy that he's like co-workers with. He works for Jack Nicholson's character.
Mhm.
And he tells him all this stuff. He tells him to like call his father, tell him you're not coming home for supper, and all this stuff. It's a two-way mirror in there, right? Just because the camera's not on doesn't mean that people can't see him talking to this guy.
Fair.
They're just not recording it. But there's two other cops that aren't corrupt in the room watching and listening to their conversation.
Right.
They can listen too.
Yeah.
He just told them to
That's
shut the
true.
camera off. That's all he did.
Unless there's a rule where they can't be watching either because it's the lawyer.
But it's a two-way
supposed to be-
mirror.
But it's supposed to be the lawyer.
But why do they put a two-way mirror in that scene?
That's a good point.
I don't think it makes any sense.
It doesn't.
Because, and I watched that scene twice being like, did he say things vaguely enough where even if they knew what he was saying, they might not be able to like understand what he was saying? No,
Like, figure
he
it
says
out.
very
Yeah.
obviously code, like gangster code.
So you think they just tricked us with like, oh, the camera's the problem. Like, oh, you won't even
Yeah,
notice.
well,
it. I didn't
hear,
notice.
You hear shut it off and your brain's like, all right, none of this
All right,
matters,
none
right?
of yes, right.
Right.
But like,
I don't think I
But
noticed
there's
it
gotta
all.
be consequences to that, right? I mean, yeah, it's like
There's no consequences to fucking anything. One of the biggest
I
problems
know,
I have in
yeah.
this movie is that Matt Damon tracks Sheen's character and there's no repercussions. No one investigates Sheen. There's no proof he was the rat. There's nothing.
Right.
He's able to do it. No one questions him while he's doing it. No one's able to get evidence after he's killed. He gets away with it scot-free for no fucking reason.
I think that's what I mean when I feel like it's not that things aren't well thought out. The plot is intricate. The motivations are intricate. And if you follow those single threads, it's pretty cool.
Agreed.
You look at the motivations.
All
of
right,
those
John's
characters.
done. We don't need any more from you. That was perfect.
That's the most positive thing you've ever said.
It's the figure. But when you look at all the rest of it, it starts to get annoying.
No. You're devolving. Don't do this. No.
Okay, go.
So the phone thing I already mentioned, that when they said, like they say they're tracking the phones, but then later on they say no phones. Like, what's the difference? What the fuck? That's pretty stupid. I had a question on the scene where Leo goes up to kill that guy who's high on the couch when the guy's his friend Frenchie's doing the firecrackers outside. Doesn't kill that guy. Spills the beans about Frank being the FBI informant, and then nothing comes of that. That guy's still alive. They must know that. And then they know that this guy knows that Frank is the informant. Like, that's not going to come back and haunt Leo at all. That scene just happens and then never comes back. That doesn't make any sense. There'd be repercussions for that scene, right? I think so.
Probably.
So I said I correct myself. This is the dumbest part of the movie. They only have one person investigating a rat within the department. Get two people.
Well, he
Two
has a
people
team,
to investigate.
doesn't
he's
he have a
he's
team?
one person that is able to
I
do
thought he
whatever
had
he
a
wants.
team.
And
Oh, okay.
they just happen. I mean, I can believe the coincidence where it happens to be the rat that is investigating, but
Yeah, but
if you're a person doing the investigation, you have to think that maybe we'll assign the rat the job to investigate the rat. So we have to do two people. And if there's two scenarios there, either those two people find the rat and it's somebody different, or both those people point at each other and say they're the rat. One of those two people is the rat, and you can figure it out from there.
Yeah.
That's fucking common sense, and they don't do that in this movie. And that just is the dumbest thing ever. They wouldn't be able to do that and have the movie go as it does.
The movie needed to be the way it went, right?
But
They
you
wanted
don't have
it
to be a
go the
fucking
way it
genius
was.
to be like, no, this is a terrible idea to have one person investigating the rat.
Yeah.
It's really a flawed way.
But wasn't he kind of off book,
What do you mean?
Leo? He wasn't really on the books. They said that a couple times.
No, but they were looking for Matt Damon. Matt Damon was looking for Matt Damon in the department. Because there was a...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And he just happened to but if they assigned somebody else in the department to also look for Matt Damon, besides Matt Damon, then they would end up, what would happen is they would point at each other being like, you're the rat. And then they're like, all right, nobody else is the rat. One of these two guys is the rat. And then they could figure it out.
That. Fucking A.
So that would be the way
for good
to
logic.
do it.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. So that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, no, you're right. I had not thought about that.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
This movie does come at you very fast and it is very confusing. So I think it gets away with a lot of stuff as it moves along. And it's the parts that are important. It really kind of telegraphs it and, lets you know what's coming kind of in a way where you can understand when like a big thing happens. Like you can follow all those big things.
And so much is going on. It's hard to question it in the moment.
Right. Because it also doesn't tell you. Because like some things it like teases you and then tells you later. So you don't get the answers all the time. So a lot of the time you'll get hit with something and then think like, maybe they'll explain this later to me, and then they don't, and then you forget about it,
Yeah.
I didn't get the feeding down the information part. So when Jack Nicholson was trying to find the rat within his own company, yet again, he feeds fake information individually, I assume, to every single one of his
each
gangsters.
one, like separately. I don't know if he did every single one. We see it clearly. He does it to Leo.
I would assume he did it to everyone, right? We can assume that.
Yeah.
He feeds Leo the info. Leo kind of spreads Leo gets the info. No, he spreads it, but then he says like it might be false, something weird is going on, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he said,
but basically, then he checks with Damon, and Damon says he didn't hear that. Like he said that Leo, he gets this information that they're using this whole new crew.
Mm-hmm.
Leo then tells Sheen. Sheen doesn't tell Damon. Jack expects Damon to know about it, but Damon doesn't know about it. So then he assumes
so I don't get
that
the
means
plan.
that
Don't you think that like not all the information being fed? Matt Damon wasn't directly connected with this mole, so that with this rat. So why would he get the information?
Right. Why would Damon expect immediately to know that?
Right, or at all,
know,
ever. He doesn't know any information about this guy.
Right.
Why would he get this information?
Yeah. Well, they could have waited. Also, that's like they could have just waited longer. He could have done something that would have caused the department to act, and then they could have known instead of just like, oh, he's got a different crew tonight, or whatever it was that the information was, and then it wouldn't. Damon's character wouldn't even need to know. It would be like some police response. Like so, it seems like a pretty good way to do it, but they didn't want that to happen. They wanted it to somehow clear Leo so that we could move on with the plot and have all the bad things happen later.
Yeah, probably not.
No,
wrong.
yeah, but that's just I don't think that checks out.
No,
I also don't think that
yeah.
like Jack Nicholson's motivation or he wasn't consistent on what he thought about the rat throughout the movie. Like there was a scene where they had the cop who was a rat apparently that figured out that Leo was a rat right before he died, coincidentally on the couch there.
Yeah.
I don't even know, since he was a cop, was he even going to rat on Leo? Was that even a threat?
It was unclear. The movie made it but
Jack thought that. So Jack bought that guy was the rat, right? He bought at least in the very first scene after he died that that guy was the rat.
He said that's what the cops said, that he's the rat. So we don't think there's a rat anymore, and so we actually we don't know that he was the rat.
Jack said that he was the rat. We're fine for like the very next scene, but then without anything else changing. Like one or two scenes later with him in it, he thought there was another rat again.
Right, but I thought somebody.
I think he's just a paranoid dude.
I thought someone said though the cops.
He's gonna think there's always going to be a rat. That's what he's thinking.
Somebody said that, and I don't know if it was Jack or one of his gang.
I didn't see why that was even in the movie, except for the fact that because of the filter down scene, that for some reason gave them so they filtered down information. Nobody got caught, right? Yet they trusted Leo because he didn't filter the information. That doesn't make any sense either, because if everybody checks out, even though when they know there's a rat, then you would still suspect somebody, right? But they trust him so much that even though he's at the scene of the crime, they still call him to go there because they think, even though he's not at the bar when they call him, they're like, he's definitely not it because we filtered down the information. It didn't filter to Matt Damon.
Right, because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to have some tension there, but now we needed to move on from him being suspected as the rat because all these other bad things are going to happen. We needed to move on from there.
Right. But they could have done it in a convincing way that made sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah. But it moves fast enough, at least on first watching this film. I really didn't question a lot of it because I was just so busy trying to catch up that I think...
So I got one more. So I got two more, actually. One I already said. Why didn't Mark Wahlberg show up at the tower? I don't think we have an answer for that. One before this one, what was Matt Damon's plan? So when he had Leonardo DiCaprio in his office, when Leo was sitting there and they were bringing him in, and he was checking him in.
Was he going to just
pay
him off?
Plan?
And maybe initially his plan was just
figure it out later.
Or no, pay him off. He's good. He just wants to go away. So give him his money. He just wants to go away. Let him go away, and everybody's happy. right? I mean, I think that was Mark's initial plan, but then he saw that Leo had
Matt's
some
initial
reason
plan?
to suspect him. What?
Matt Damon's initial plan?
Matt's initial plan was to pay him off and let him go.
Yeah.
But then he got reason to suspect that Leo knew that he might be the rat, and Leo bolts off.
Right,
and
but the office knew that there was another rat already, so they were still investigating in Matt Damon's department if there was a rat. So it's not like if Leo kept his mouth shut and went away, all of Matt Damon's problems would go away. He still had problems.
No, but he'd still have problems, but that's fine. He could deal with it. He didn't need to. What was he going to do? Get Leo mad at him, or somehow arrange to get him killed? Which he wasn't really. I don't think he was actively trying to do that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. That scene is weird.
Yeah, it was a little messy. I thought too.
And the last one was, why does the old lady in the corridor pull the dog away from Matt Damon? She doesn't know Matt Damon's a piece of shit. It's just a foreshadowing.
She can
right?
just feel it.
It's like, well, you're about to get killed by Mark Wahlberg in little blue plastic booties, so I might as well pull my dog away from you.
And I mean, that nice shot though, that rise, it was good.
You liked it with a CG rat there at the end. Classic.
Yeah.
Boom! Go fuck yourself. And the shot, I like where the shot landed. I mean,
I liked it when the camera cut to black with the music. That was good. Good stuff right there.
I mean, it's typical.
Always good to cut to black.
It is.
I like a good cut to black.
All right, do you guys want to hear who the original cast would have been if the movie producers
if everything was different?
If they got their first choices.
Oh, well, sure, sure.
Well, do you know?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Brad Pitt originally was signed on.
Hey, he's stealing his thunder.
He himself said he was too old.
He's got the list. Let him say.
John has some trivia. Let him have a little spotlight here.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
So yeah, you have Sullivan. The Matt Damon character was going to be Brad Pitt, but he left for Babel instead.
I thought, at least the wikis just said that too, that Brad thought that he would be too old to play it, but maybe that was
he just wanted
bullshit.
to do Babel instead.
But he also got to be producer, so anyway.
Yeah. Costello, Jack Nicholson, would have been Al Pacino.
Oh boy.
Huh. Yeah, but Al Pacino turned it down.
Kind of crazy.
No Joe Pesci though, huh?
No Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's been retired for a while.
Pesci.
Until he came back for the Irishman there. So eventually. So we have Costigan, Tom Cruise for the Leo character.
Oh wow.
Tom Cruise.
He would have done
that. Would have been different. Definitely different.
Dignam, the Mark Wahlberg character, originally they wanted Ray Liotta.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then when they couldn't get Ray Liotta, they wanted Dennis Leary to do it.
Hey, yeah,
Dennis would have been great.
He's from Worcester. He's from Worcester.
How's your mom, Kay?
How's your ma? How's your ma? How's your ma? Get a fucking cigarette.
And then Madeline, they had 4 people that they wanted before Vera Farmiga. They wanted Kate Winslet, Emily Blunt, Hilary Swank, or Jennifer Aniston for that character.
Oh,
I mean, it's just all the stunts, right? That's funny.
That would have been a different movie.
Oh, 100%. Nowhere near as good.
I don't know.
Fucking
Al Pacino as Costigan, that'd be different.
Al Pacino and Aniston.
And Jennifer
Aniston. Come on. That would be miserable.
What?
Oh, it'd be awful.
Al Pacino would have been funny.
I don't know. Dennis Leary and Al Pacino and maybe some Kate Winslet in there instead of Aniston.
He's like 3 times.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise
looks
and Al
about 3
Pacino
times
squaring
the age.
off.
It'd be weird.
That would have been great. I would have liked it.
Tom Cruise and Al Pacino. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I didn't like Matt Damon throughout this movie, except for that scene in the elevator. That scene in the elevator is like the best thing he's ever done, I think.
I mean, he looked scared.
He did a good job there. I felt like he was just weird all the way through. I didn't quite get, I mean, in contrast to Leo, who I thought, did a good job. I agree. Matt was weird and
just going negative on Damon. I can never do it. It's sacrilegious.
I know you can't. It's okay. He's your boy.
He's my
See what
my
happens.
guy.
This is going to be fucking fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
All right, you guys ready for some trivia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only sparsed it up with other thing I've read. I was just looking over the Academy Awards for that year.
Oh, it's fresh off the Wikipedia page.
Hey,
here,
fresh off the pages.
Yeah.
Fresh
I'm working
off
hard. I'm working hard over
the
here.
pages.
Be quiet.
I think it's shut up.
So Departed was in contention with Babel, Letters from Iwo Jima, Little Miss Sunshine, and The Queen.
For Best Picture?
Yep.
Yeah.
Director was against Babel, Letters from Iwo Jima, The Queen, and United 93. I mean, the other film that was out that year was...
Have you seen Letters to Iwo Jima?
No.
It's fantastic,
right?
Believe.
It's
Yes.
really good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like the Japanese side of the war, sort of, right?
So he made 2 movies. I forget what one of them was called. The American version was in color, and it was okay. It was fine, but Letters to Iwo Jima was like really fucking good, like intense,
And,
2006. Oh yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth came out that year,
and didn't get nominated for Best Picture.
And Children of Men.
What?
That was a good
Academy
one.
was fucking up that year.
Aren't they fucking up every year?
It was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, but lost to The Departed.
The Departed.
And then it didn't win for cinematography either. Pan's Labyrinth won for cinematography, but Children of Men was also
That's a tough one there.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Art direction Pan's Labyrinth got art direction too.
That's cool.
But anyway, the Prestige was out that year.
It got nothing. Nice.
Nothing looked like it got none.
This movie had a $90 million budget, and half of it went to the actors.
Sure.
Wow.
To just go in and do whatever the fuck they wanted.
Well, one of
That's
them, at the very
insane.
least.
One of them, yeah. I guess. So, Wahlberg didn't get to do whatever he wanted to do.
He probably did.
I'm
to an
back.
extent.
I'm going to do a
probably
dance
did.
here.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to
He
dance,
probably
Mark.
did.
I want to dance. I'm going to dance. I'm going to yell about his mom. I'm going to do dance. No,
Because I
Mark,
think if
you're
you
not gonna
slow
do dance.
down and think about what he says, it's not worth saying. But the fact that he says it fast and in his voice, then it's like, all right,
Fair.
yeah,
It's
this is
funny.
pretty funny.
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny.
And it was supposed to be a low budget movie, and the production budget blew up once all these famous people started signing on.
Sure.
Oh shit.
So
When was it ever going to be low budget? They
I don't
had
know.
Brad Pitt initially, and Tom Cruise, whatever. Yeah,
maybe
it was
they
gonna be
weren't
low budget.
expecting to get them. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, no, you always hope for it. Right?
It's
You
got
hope, I
Scorsese
guess.
in the first place. Like, y'all have all these.
Dude, I think Scorsese is kind of a liar too. By the way, like when you read
What?
between his interviews, it's confusing to pull any out. So there's a whole making of on this Blu-ray, and I'm not going to pull anything from it because I don't trust the guy. I don't trust him at all.
He doesn't trust him. He's slimy.
He's
Look at
a
him.
little slimy. Like he
there you go.
balloons himself up. He tries to be mysterious. He says really weird and vague things, and I just don't trust the words
Hey,
he's saying as
he's a
information.
Hollywood guy.
Yeah, I feel vindicated.
Yeah,
He
wait,
said
I mean,
when he
it's
won,
just how
he
it
won
goes.
like Best Director at the Directors Guild Awards or something, and the thing that he ended with was like, "This is the first movie I've ever had that had a plot," and everyone was like, "Yeah, no, that's not
That's a
fucking
joke.
true.
It's a joke.
That's not a joke.
It's a joke.
No,
It's a joke.
it's not a funny joke. If that's a
It's
joke,
a bad joke, but it's a joke.
I don't think so.
He's serious. He's not serious.
no, he's a
Takes
joker.
a lot of work.
He's a
He's
joke.
a joker. He's a funny guy. He's Mr. Fucking Funny
I
Bags
guess,
over here.
I don't know.
Funny
I'm not
man
a,
over
I'm not a
here.
He's
huge
Joey
fan.
Funny. Come on.
I like his movies a lot, most of them, but I don't like listening to him. He's just, I don't know. Something
You know
about
what
him
I don't
just-
like doing is listening to any of them.
He's
You know,
not.
it's
He's
the
not
same.
humble. He's the opposite of humble.
No,
like most
none of
other
them are.
no, a lot of them are way more humble than he
They
is.
know
he
how
is
to look humble.
not. Right. I listen.
Then they go-
TC.
Then they go home and pontificate for
how
hours
much more?
at the wall.
How much more content do I watch of directors talking to me than you do? So much more. You have to agree there, right?
I just think it's all part of the process. It's all part of the sell.
Maybe
To
to an extent for a lot of people.
You're the one that rails against the arrogance of the creators of the artists. TC.
But I'm
Come
saying
I
on.
do
that
all the time. That's what
Scorsese-
I'm doing it right now.
Scorsese is at the extreme end of the side that he's like, you have
Don't like.
you have Guillermo del Toro at one end, humble and trying his best, and then you have
I know.
Scorsese,
I'm
who is
just
totally
fucking
full
around.
of himself to a
Jesus.
degree that is
Lighten
just
up.
annoying.
Yeah. I'm just fucking with you.
Oh no, I'm not saying anything towards you. I'm just saying the statement that I'm saying where Scorsese
Yeah.
is annoying to listen to, and I don't trust him.
Right.
So
Okay.
if you trust him, you can
No.
watch some special features.
I
but I'm not gonna share
don't have
anything.
one way. I don't think one way or the other. You know.
Vera Farmiga, I don't know how to say her name, showed us the script to her psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist
Oh?
told her that
As you do.
As you
everyone
do.
in this movie was like, they did rides with cops. They're like, I'm gonna go ride with a cop for a couple weeks.
Naturally, she did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Like, whoa, what would I expect? I would expect nothing less. Like, yeah. Anyways, go on then.
Guess what? The psychiatrist
What?
said the psychiatrist in this movie did the wrong thing at every turn. Not surprising.
Good. And they were like,
Oh, yeah.
perfect. We got it right. Great.
Yeah.
That's exactly
right.
what
We
the
don't
character's
know.
supposed
It's
to
like,
be.
Wait, no, she's there. She has to sleep with both of them. Mission
She's the thing that
accomplished. Shut
drives
up.
the plot along.
She
It's
fucked
the
her way to her
MacGuffin.
diploma. She sleeps with everything and everyone.
I guess so.
She's hot and she sleeps with things, so she has a job. That's how
That's
it
it.
works.
Well,
Oh, yeah, that's-
what
you're gonna
your
have to
woman is
remove
for
that.
in your
Right.
gangster
That's what this
film.
movie shows. That's literally what this is. She's terrible at her job,
You're
and she's
right.
hot, and she sleeps with
I
everyone.
know. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's.
I don't have an opinion on the matter,
I'm just
but
saying
it's what happens in the movie.
Right. I'm safe as long as I'm just describing what's happening.
So she showed the script to her psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist says that, and then she's like, "Well, take it."
Yes, just like that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good point.
Everything wrong? Absolutely everything.
Yeah,
okay, great.
Perfect.
I mean,
So you're saying
I'm
this is
sorry,
the
but
role
that's a great test for the character. It's awesome. It's like going to the AI.
Again, I mean, she's like gets to work with Scorsese and all. I mean, it could make her film career. Like, fuck it. Like, so what if it's the character makes no sense?
She did. So Vera Farmiga had a lot of good things to say about Leo. She was she had a lot of scenes with Leo, and she was intimidated. Not Matt, by the way. She was mainly talking about being intimidated by Leo with her
That's
scenes.
funny.
But she said as soon as she got on set, like the first day, all those fears kind of went away because Leo made it easy.
Oh, did he now?
He made it real easy. His vulnerability made it extremely easy.
Yeah. It's like super hot,
Right. Is it real? Let's have sex.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry, babe. Everything's
I'm
fine.
all wet and I'm Leo. You want to fuck? Come on.
I'm all, I'm soaked. You saw Titanic. Let's go.
Come on. We got this.
Scorsese didn't know it was a remake until after he signed on, after reading the script. And he didn't watch the original one until after he was done making the movie. He didn't want to be influenced.
Fair enough, I guess.
That's cool.
It tried to get Jack to wear a Red Sox hat because Whitey Bulger wore a Red Sox hat. But
and what happened?
Jack is he's a Lakers fan.
He's a Yankees fan too, right? Oh.
Well, so maybe a little bit, but he's mostly a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
And there was apparently a huge feud, like back when 70s or 80s, between the Lakers and the Celtics. So he hates Boston.
Okay.
Because of that,
course.
so he refused
Jack,
to wear.
You're fucking playing a Boston gangster. Come on.
He was playing himself, is what he was doing, John. You were right.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're right. That's what I was saying. So yeah, see,
stick with your point, John. Stick with your point. Come on.
I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I think he's a Yankees fan.
You could give a little.
I'm sure
just
he
a little
is.
there for your character. Yeah. Anyway,
that shot of the state
so
house.
He refused, huh? He's just
he
completely
refused. Yeah, they tried to tell him, but he was just like, "I'm not doing it. I'm definitely not doing it."
All right, Jack. You're Jack.
All right, Jack. All right. And we're paying you how much? You fuck. Yeah.
Right.
Jesus.
He's a Brando of himself, basically. Like, he
I
can do whatever the fuck he wants.
know. It's how it goes.
That shot of the state house, there's no apartment that has that view. It was shot from the top of a building in Suffolk University, and they digitally input that shot in the window.
It's Boston.
Yeah. The scene between Sheen and DiCaprio, they had to ride the red line 100 times to get that scene down.
No way.
Back and forth 100 times.
What are you doing?
Really?
You guys
Yeah.
making a movie over there? Are you making a movie? Hey, Casey, come over here. They're making a movie.
You can't shut the fucking tea down, dude. It's not fair. I gotta go home, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
The Jack improvised and the suggestions I already went over. So that's all the trivia that I got.
Nice.
Top 250
Well,
guys.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I'll agree that some of the action scenes are really, really up there. And then everything else I'm annoyed by. So it's, I don't know.
I think between the use of cell phones as a major plot point and some of the action scenes, especially the elevator scene, on the first watch, remember how you felt the first time you watched this movie.
No, I know. And I don't think
when it was all new and shiny.
Right. Like you can't even. Can you think of anything that comes close to that in terms of the way the protagonist meets his end, in terms of the sort of suddenness of it and I don't know. I don't think there's anything like.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is the scene in Children of Men.
Yeah, but that's coming. You still kind of have a sense.
Yeah. Suddenness.
I mean, it's not like it's not super sudden when that. I mean, there's some suddenness of the other deaths in that film that I remember pretty striking. But
no, I mean, honestly, I think the elevator scene is whatever it's unique in whatever way it's unique for all the reasons it's as good as it is. Like the way the plot is going at the time, it's killing the main character on the screen. It comes out of absolutely fucking nowhere.
Right. When you least it misdirects you to think he's won.
Yeah.
And again, it's masterfully done. So I would say yes. I mean, as annoyed as I am with this thing, but certainly, yeah.
Agreed.
That's 3.
I think we're 3 for 3 on all these top 50s so far. It's hard to say no to these.
I mean, these are getting really, they are getting better in general, right? I know.
That's
The
true.
whole premise of our podcast is falling apart. The farther up we go to number one.
Why even ask anymore? We'll hit one.
Yeah,
We'll
right,
hit
right.
one.
What are
We'll
we
be- we'll
doing
be
over
grumpy
here? I
about it.
can't remember.
I think we got a silent movie left. So yeah, we'll hit it. We'll hit something.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get negative.
We have some options
I
next
tried
week, guys.
hard, guys. I tried.
Oh,
really
you're
hard
doing
today.
what you aced it today, bud.
Thanks.
We got 4 options for next week.
What do we got?
It's Oscar season, guys. We were we recorded this in the past, so the Oscar nominations came out this past week, and we're now looking at all the movies that we'd missed.
The Argentina one.
You think so? I'm down.
Also,
I think
Tar.
so. Yeah.
I would do that. So the ones that just to give you the options, because I have the tabs pulled up and I spent 30 seconds on it, so I want to utilize that.
Well, yeah.
The Fablemans,
Yes.
Yeah.
Tar.
We should see that. Should
Yeah.
see Tar.
Tar.
All Quiet on the Western Front, and Argentina,
Yeah.
1885.
I would
I don't know
rather do
anything
the
about
I
Argentina.
mean, I
TC,
keep
if
hearing
you got a
I keep
preference-
hearing it's really good.
The
I don't know.
synopsis is
I-
pretty good sounding.
I don't want to hear the synopsis. I want to go in. I want to go in cold. so.
I keep hearing from people that it's really good. So
Okay.
It's free on Amazon Prime, so that's always
Okay.
good.
right.
All right.
Let's do
do
it.
the Argentina.
Yeah.
But I also want to do Fablemans. I want to do Tar. Tar
I
is
do
like,
too. Tar is just I'm not in the mood. I want to do it. Like, I want to do a
Everybody's
different
saying
thing.
Kate Blanchett's like a basically real front runner for the Oscar there.
Well, we got some good ones to.
All right. Well, if we
Argentina.
switch our minds, we'll switch our minds. But it sounds like
No,
we're
no,
doing
we'll-
Argentina.
We're doing
sounds
go with
good.
Argentina. We're doing
Yeah.
Argentina.
All right.
Sweet. Let's do that one.
All right.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Later, guys.
See you, boys.
Stop 'em.